In case you missed it, the 2026 Monster Energy Supercross track maps were officially released a few weeks ago, and it includes pretty much every single track layout aside from Daytona, and there's a lot of really cool track layouts in here. And what's also pretty cool is that a user on the forum by the name of Tyler P435 started building them in MX Simulator. He's building them pretty much one by one, and when he finishes them, he updates them. And actually, while I was making this video, he actually released the Houston track as well for round 4. But we're only going to check out the first 3 rounds today because I had already pre-recorded this and pretty much was ready to go. And then he actually put out the Houston track. So there's Anaheim 1, there is also San Diego round 2, and there's also Anaheim 2 that we're going to check out today. So let's jump in, shall we? Of course, first up is Anaheim 1. Pretty interesting layout this year, into a left-hand first corner. Basically the distance from the outfield to the infield of the stadium. And then over the backside of a berm, you got a decently good-sized rhythm section to start it off. 2 rhythm sections in a row, actually, before we head into the first Supercross triple. The only Supercross triple, I think? No, I think there might be one more, but rhythm section into the outfield of the stadium. You got this left-hand kink over a Supercross triple. You turn out of this one, and then basically 6 singles in a row. One of them kind of turns at the end. You see I even missed it, almost jumped off the track right here. But then a sand section, pretty small sand section into a really unique section here. Split options up and over a tunnel jump. I think it's going to be more on-off of the tunnel right there. If you triple up to it versus going to the right side, then you can step over it and then double across the start. But you'll see what I do on my hot lap. Triple in option right here, off, and then triple seems pretty standard, but I'm sure it's going to be built a little bit different, so we might see some different lines there. The 9 whoop sections, still going to be the same thing this year. I think they're going to maybe expand it to 10 or 11 at a couple rounds. There's also some split whoops that we'll talk about when we get to San Diego, but that is kind of interesting. And then around this to the finish line jump, but we're still not done with one full lap. Pretty long lap time here. Underneath the tunnel jump, out of this one, you got 2 singles onto a tabletop and then off, and then a U-turn into, yes, the second Supercross triple. Forgot about this one right before you join back in with the first turn complex. So again, over the first turn complex, I think out of this one, we're going to see 3-3-2 most likely, maybe 2-3-3, depending on how that berm is built. And then these step tables seem to be back into play this year. They're very popular in 2025. It seems like they're going to use them a lot again in 2026, obviously on the layout here at Anaheim 1. To me, I feel like this is going to be the difference maker section right here, because depending on what they do with how they build this sand section and what they do with the split option into the tunnel, might end up pretty one-lined. You can get all the way over that tunnel here in Sim. I think I even do that for my hot lap if I remember correctly. But then again, obviously the line here is going to be triple on. I think maybe what they'll end up having some guys do is go inside and then step over triple. Might be fast too. The whoops are pretty gnarly that Tyler built. To be honest, I was first gear through them and having to check up to really kind of hit each whoop. They're peaky, they're short, so it might be tricky for some beginner players to get a look at them, but still cool to at least be able to see this layout and play it. So let's take a look at a hot lap here of 2026 Anaheim 1. On to round 2 in San Diego we go. We start with the whole SoCal swing getting out of the way pretty much right away again this year. Right-hand first turn in San Diego. We saw this 2 years ago in San Diego for the Mudder race, but we're back to right-hand first corners. And another one of those over the backside of the berm into the first rhythm section. type lanes that we've saw at Anaheim 1. Now it's going to also happen in San Diego. And then there's basically 4 rhythm sections till you get to any sort of different lines. So this is rhythm section number 2. There's going to be a big option through there that I'll show you guys a little bit later on. 5 singles in a row out of this left-hand 90, then a U-turn into a 3-5-3 triple. And then another U-turn, and then this is where it gets kind of fun. We go underneath a tunnel jump, kind of unique right here. Left-hand 90 into a double, and then the Supercross triple is the finish line jump at this round, because I think it is the only Supercross triple, yes. So here's the split whoops I was talking about. 9 set of whoops into a wall jump table single, and then on the backside of it, another 5 whoops to get over. I like that because it reminds me of some old school Supercross tracks, particularly like Dallas used to do that a lot, but some other tracks would have something to break up a long set of whoops. And if they're not going to do 12, 13 set of whoops, I like something to maybe be in between 2 sets of whoops, kind of have a little bit of different flow. So I like that. But then back into, again, we have a 2-3-3-2 option after the tunnel jump, and then back through this first rhythm section. So here's some of the big lines. On, off, quad right here, and then land in transition, quad again. I'm almost positive on this track you can go on, off, 4-5. I don't end up doing it for my lap because it's hard to get that 90 afterwards, but I'm sure some of the big dogs in this game could certainly do it. Highly doubt that is a real-life line. In fact, I expect it to be more on-off, triple, double, or something along those lines. But let's take a look at a lap around this track, shall we? Almost forgot that I actually had done my fast lap on my 3rd lap at San Diego, so sorry for the brief talk over the overlay there for a second. But on to Anaheim 2 we go, round 3 of this championship. Left-hand sweeper into the first rhythm section, and this time it just kind of joins up with the track. You don't go over the back of the berm. You'll see that you actually jump over the first turn complex later on. But 2 rhythm sections to start you off before you go through a whoop section. Now this rhythm section, which goes down the first base line at Angel Stadium, I think will be really cool. A lot of different options, and you'll see me, I think, take 3 completely different options in this video, actually. And then a whoop section into 7 rhythm jumps right after the whoop section. Again, I think that is another thing you could probably see triple quad maybe be in play, but depending on how gnarly the whoops are. Supercross triple into a double out of the 180 before the finish line jump. This track actually kind of reminds me a little bit of a couple other Anaheims we've seen over the past decade or so with the way that it's laid out, but they changed up a couple different options about it so that it races slightly differently. But layout-wise, it's pretty similar to ones that we have seen before for sure. Across the starting line, cool little split option there after the finish line jump. Then we got a long, lengthy left-handed sand corner with a lot of bumps and kind of rhythm jumps in the middle of it. So keen to see how that plays out. Right-hand 90 after you come out of that one, and then a triple-double option. Absolutely the must-go. You cannot double-triple that. It's going to be too far across the starting line. Speaking across the starting line, jumping back in right here, you jump across, and then you go 3 all the way 4 into this corner. And it kind of set me up bad here, so here's that different option. Double in, quad over the backside of this, then you can triple this, and then you can probably triple single into the corner. I choose to go double because I kind of messed up the landing of the original triple right there, but you'll see a different option that I take later on. Then through the whoop section again, like I said, probably 3-4 options available here. Don't end up doing it in this video, but could be possible. Either way, this is the first 3 layouts of 2026, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. We'll do more of these as Tyler P puts out more of these tracks, but please enjoy another hot lap here at Anaheim 2. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.